My Lord and my God, I firmly believe that you are here, that you see me, that you hear me. I adore you with profound reverence. I ask your pardon for my sins and the grace to make this time of prayer fruitful. My Immaculate Mother, Saint Joseph, my Father and Lord, my guardian angel, intercede for me. The Gospel we read for our Mass today is very short, and it just can seem almost like a little bit of an interlude. Luke reminding us exactly who's around Jesus as he's journeying around, at this point primarily in the north, in Galilee. That he's going from one town and village to another. Jesus didn't necessarily stay put all that often. And that with him were the 12 apostles, and as well some women we hear, some women who accompany them. We get the names of some of them even. We get Mary, Susanna, and Joanna. But then there's this beautiful little detail, and if we read the passage or listen to it at the Mass too quickly and praying with it, if we pass over this, we miss a beautiful point. We hear that not only were there those three women with Jesus and the apostles, but many others. There are many others. So St. Luke gives us a list of 12 and then three women, but also many others. Particularly that many others is written in the feminine, alie multe, right? Many other women who were around and caring for them. And so when we think about Jesus, when we think about you in your ministry, when we think about you and your preaching, you're not just wandering around all alone, or you don't just have the apostles there as kind of a little clique. Rather, this is a real family environment, that this is a group of people that are friends with each other, and they're acting very much like a family. Jesus, you form a family, a community of disciples around you, and many others. And that little phrase, many others, is the invitation to us, that we can be part of that many others, that we could be right there with you, Jesus, as part of the team, as part of the family. We're your friends. And so you invite us to be on mission with you, to accompany you in our prayer, to accompany you as well as we go out among our work, that we are working as part of your church, as part of your family. We're part of your mission. And that you invite us in, that the church is a warm and welcoming family. It's a big family. The church, your church, Jesus, is a big family, but it's a big family where more and more people are always welcome. Sometimes if you have a family that can be very focused, closed in on itself, the only people welcome around the dinner table are those of the family. And this could be for any number of reasons, not imputing any blame, but sometimes there would be families, I remember growing up, where it's time for family dinner, so that your friends have to go home. Send your friends home. It's time for family dinner. And it's good for families to spend some amount of exclusive time together. But it could be difficult when we consider a family or we consider a group of friends where other people are not welcome, that they're outsiders and they will always be outsiders. And Jesus, that's not what you want your family, the church, to be. Rather, going back to that same example, it'd be that wonderful experience hopefully many of us have had, where playing with friends or visiting someone, and now it's time for family dinner, and if you want to stay, just pull up a chair. That you're invited into the family. You're invited there to be part of the family life, to share family life, and not just to be a passive spectator. I remember a number of times being invited to stay over a friend's house for dinner growing up, but you're going to help. You're going to help clean up. You're going to help set the table. You're going to move your chair to the table, and not just being a guest, not just being a passive outside spectator, but being part of the family, being one among all the others. We should ask Jesus, when it comes to your family, the church, do we see ourselves as just guests, that we're there to be taken care of, we don't want to step on anyone's toes. We don't really know all the family lingo. And so I'm going to behave like a guest. I'm going to be on my best behavior. It's always good to be on good behavior. But I'm going to be on this awkwardly formal behavior and have the mindset that I'm an outsider and I better not mess up. And when I'm with my friends in the church, I always feel like an outsider. Jesus, that's not the environment that you want for us. You invite us to be part of the family. You want us to be there and to take a certain co-responsibility for your family, the church. And we see this as the passage goes on. And again, these very, very short words that the group traveling around Jesus provided for them out of their own resources. Out of their own resources, they provided for the needs of their family. And so when we come into the family, the church, we're invited to share our own gifts, that within the life of the church, the fullness of who we're called to be and the fullness of the gifts that God has given us can be exhibited there. Any of our skills or our capacities, our talents, right? Jesus, what you've given us, we share with the family, the church. Going to the example again around a dinner table being at a friend's house, it would be as if, well, I make a very good type of pasta. And so one night staying for dinner doesn't just mean I'm being served, but rather I can help cook. I can help cook the pasta. I can be there and share in the responsibility for the family dinner. Not as a guest, but as part of the team, as part of the family. And so in the church, do we see our role as being part of the family? Do we see that whatever gifts we were given, we can share in the family, the church, and ultimately share them with you, Jesus? That we need to assume a certain co-responsibility. One of the great dangers and pitfalls of living in the church in our time is the consumer mentality, that we can treat the church as like a store, and we're the customer. And of course, the customer is always right. And that I want the church to meet just my needs in my way. And if your store doesn't carry what I want, well, I'll go to another one. I'll find some other church. And that could be a danger. That mentality of a consumer mentality can slip into our relationship to the church. But when we change and we see that we're not consumers, we're not guests, but that we are part of the family, then we take a certain co-responsibility. If there's something that needs to be done in the church, now it could be the universal church, right? If there's some mission of evangelization or vocation, then I see that I very well could answer that if my gifts and talents line up with that need. Or it could just be in my local church, in my local parish or university chapel or school. What ways can my gifts and talents help meet that need? Here in my own parish, we had just a day or two ago, had a case where we have a baptism coming up, and somebody who has a skill with sewing saw the robe that we were going to give to the newborn child and said, "Oh, Father, that's not good enough. That's not good enough for that baby, the first baby of this family. Everyone's so joyful. You got to do something better than that." Me, I can't do anything. And so this very generous woman said, "Well, I'll do it. I'll just take it. I'll take it home and I'll have it back for you in 2 days, in time for the baptism," because that's a skill that she has, and she's happy to do it. Not for her own family, but not for her own physical family, but rather for her family, the church, to see that this is a skill with which God has blessed her, and that she's willing to share that. And other ways of co-responsibility. There's so many young people that have tremendous skill with social media and being able to spread messages through that use it at the service of their parish and at the service of ultimately you, Jesus, and in spreading the gospel through those means at which they're particularly skilled. So we offer whatever we can. It's not money. You don't get the sense that it's just money, that when those who are with Jesus, where are they making money? They're wandering around Galilee. But no, rather they're sharing their skill. They're sharing their love, because they're part of the family. And so Jesus, help us to see that we're part of your family. We could go to our mother. Mary is a good mother of the family. She's the one who can invite us in with that maternal care, that maternal love, helping us to each be the best that we are created for, helping us to live all of our virtues and talents. Mary, pray for us. Invite us always to be part of the family of your Son, Jesus Christ, so that we may fully live as members of his family, the church, and not just guests or outsiders. I thank you, my God, for the good resolutions, affections, and inspirations which you have communicated to me in this meditation. I ask your help in putting them into effect. My Immaculate Mother, Saint Joseph, my Father and Lord, my guardian angel, intercede for me.